Welcome back to Joe vs. Capcom Infinite Bitching.
Honestly, it's not really been just me. Everyone's had something to talk about.
Can you just remain Joe versus Steve? At this point, it's basically just the two of us.
Alright, so...
Okay, just to bring back a bit towards the story of whatever the fuck is going on, the characters have to get the Infinity Stones that are a bit everywhere. Wakanda has one, but T'Challa, because people loved a lot of his characterization, doesn't want to give because he's afraid that, you know, his people might die as a result.
But unfortunately, Captain America and Chun-Li unintentionally guided
Ultron roles, yeah.
Yes. Also, hey, look at that!
Hunter boss.
Wouldn't that make a good boss fight?
Yes.
It would be a shame.
See that monster?
Okay, I found it not really interesting that despite you know, Monster Hunter being whatever you want, they made the canonical appearance of Monster Hunter female. I get it; it's a nice touch because the roster is missing a lot of female characters, so yeah. I get the thought process behind it.
Okay, that was kind of cool. Hulk pretty much taking Ryu like a football.
Again, despite the very, very jarring humor, there are actual moments where the crossover aspects do shine. Characters, you know, interact with each other, talk, cross-reference stuff, and they actually, you know, act upon enemies, like in combat or something. This is something, like I said, similar to stuff like the Project Cross Zone games do, which is the strength of a crossover. Having people come from completely different settings, but they are under one banner, having to compare notes, essentially having to face a common crisis.
Okay, so
is Project Cross Zone good?
Yes.
If you're talking about story, I really like it.
I'm talking about from a gameplay perspective, because all everyone talks about is like, oh look at shit get tossed on zero.
It's an acquired taste.
If
you're willing to stomach potential, if you're willing
Yeah.
to stomach potential repetitivity, yes, it's for you. Otherwise, you might have a bad time because, you know, after around the halfway point, the game does introduce completely new stuff and consolidates, and you're doing essentially the same things over and over. So if you don't like that kind of gameplay, it's not a thing for you.
I will say this, Project Cross Zone 2 is legit a better game to play than the first Project Cross Zone. Like, Project Cross Zone 2 not only mixes stuff up better, but it also has better pacing in the gameplay, and it at least gives you a chance to, you know, level up better, whereas Project Cross Zone, from what I played, and I played a lot of it, Project Cross Zone has a lot of BS leveling here and there, which makes a lot of matches more of a slog.
That's the thing, Jova. It's more, never than that, it's more linear, quote-unquote, in that kind of way, because there's not much river, you cannot actually level up your character between chapters, there's no shop system, so your items are limited, which means the more you go into New Game Plus, the more screwed up you get, essentially. While 2 introduces basically everything that I just said, a chance to allow your characters to level up in between chapters if you feel that you're under level for a challenge, a shop system to, you know, get better equipped and actual items, you know, that kind of stuff. It's a natural evolution. Namco Cross Capcom was even worse than the first PXZ job, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But honestly, strictly, the thing that all these 3 titles have in common instead is the advantage of the story that we have.
Because it's written by Monolith Soft, so yeah.
Again, it's such interesting how they took a lot of risk with choosing the characters to represent and didn't went for a lot of the low common denominators and still managed to pull it off for the most part.
Not only that, they clearly did their research. You have some awesome things like Phoenix having been the attorney of freaking Majima. That's right, Phoenix Wright got Majima off the hook, and then he's also the lawyer of, well,
Heihachi Mishima.
Yeah, Heihachi Mishima, who's pretty much aged down thanks to his
Are you about to fall into the Hado again? Okay, let me tell you this. Ever since Street Fighter 4, Capcom has been basically on a roll of having Ryu having one characterization. He's an insecure fuck because he fears he might fall against the Satsui no Hado constantly. And it becomes old real fast.
Well, thankfully with Street Fighter 5 they got rid of it. So with Street Fighter 6, they can't go back no more.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
Wait,
Don't
he doesn't
underestimate
have the
Capcom
Hado anymore in 5?
Yes. Yeah, he overcame it.
It's been so fucking long since I played 5.
The story mode of 5 essentially ends with the definitive death of M. Bison.
Oh god, that face. Oh, wait,
yeah, maybe close-ups on these characters aren't good ideas.
Let's talk about the budget for this game. It was described by one of the devs as, and I quote, cheap as shit. It was literally a fraction of Street Fighter V's DLC.
Wait, did they actually describe it as that?
Yes, you're right.
We never actually got precise numbers, but they describe it with these terms.
Wait, guys, hold on. This is my favorite scene in the entire game. Just look at this. Look at the bonds of friendship. How Ryu is having this awesome speech. Just keep watching.
Fucking ugly face, I swear.
Yeah. Just look at it.
Fucking eyebrows are stiff.
Pray, you know what? At least be glad that. Just be glad. Hey, guys, just be glad that Chun-Li's face got fixed. I remember my reaction to her face during that E3 at Sony 2016, I think it was?
17.
Remind us, I actually don't remember.
Yeah, 17. Right now, Chun, she looks fine.
Yeah, they fixed it because they saw all the memes.
But that's actually the budget is one of the big things that fucked up this game essentially by the time it's launched, because I can definitely believe with even double the budget the game would have been at least much more presentable. To be fair, that's something that Jova was mentioning on the previous part, is also connected to the art style. Ultimate Marvel 3 and Ultimate Marvel 3 decided to adopt a cell shade appearance in order to reflect the comic book style as an evolution of the 2D sprites.
Oh boy!
Look, now we get to play as my main, Spider-Man and Chris Redfield.
I fucking hate M.O.D.O.K.
Isn't this the point where Frank West joins the team?
Yes.
Kinda, sorta. Okay. This goes back to another issue I have with the story mode here. There feels like there's not as much flow to this game, and again, because the actual convergence, where the characters officially met, happened off screen, we don't even get a sense of wonder of these people first meeting or whatnot. And it's literally just, hey, here I am.
Hey Spidey, not voiced by Josh Keaton, but instead by Robbie Damon, because Marvel was again restructuring the cartoon voice actors at the time.
Hey, at least
also, Spidey looks buff in this game.
That's the thing, Tio. Everyone looks either jacked or stringy. It's like we said. It's
so wait, Jova. What you're saying is it's accurate to comics.
Okay. It's accurate to Rob Liefeld comics.
Oh look, Deadpool.
No, that's not.
I mean, like concept-wise, these are actually cool because these are fucking T-viruses with symbiotes in them. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is where the crossover aspect is actually used pretty well for this section.
I argue Java in general. This is kind of the point where the story starts to actually trying to improve, and by the end of the game you will see how the curve actually has progressed. But the problem is that the weak start is a breaking thing for a lot of people, and that I can actually see. First impressions are everything.
Chris, set it on fire before they get up.
No,
that'd be the smart thing to do.
We don't do that. We don't do that anymore.
Oh, something malignant. That's a perfect meme for this game. Hey, Frank.
Frank, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, look at Frank.
Okay, the one positive that I have to give is that he's voiced again by TJ Rotolo.
His hands look like they're bigger than his fucking head.
Yeah.
After Capcom decided to fuck over TJ Rotolo for the role for Dead Rising 4.
Oh, Dead Rising 4.
Honestly, Captain Marvel's design.
Sorry, Shiroi? What?
No. Captain Marvel's design bothers me the most, not just even because of the hair, which was already mentioned. I can't tell if those are supposed to be her muscles or her ribcage.
I know, right? And her face, dear God, it looks like she has internal eyeliner on there.
Honestly, aside from Hulk and Thanos, all the faces are pretty garbo.
Bad.
Well, see, that's the thing. I still agree. I still stick to my claim that X-Zero and Sigma. I think they're probably the best looking models in the game.
Well,
again, going back to Project Cross Zone, that game actually had to handle a bunch of anime looking characters. Oh, here we go. Yeah. But going back to Protocol Zone, that game actually had to handle a bunch of realistic-looking characters with very anime-esque characters, and the art style managed to blend the two things pretty nicely enough. In a way, the same goes for MVC3 and Ultimate Marvel 3 as a result, because of the cell shading they were using. Instead, here, adopting these actual, more realistic
like it's copying the MCU.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Which is
the meme for this game was MCU versus Capcom Infinite.
I mean, that's
which
what
is
it is. That's
connected.
What it is.
Which is connected also to the roster and the choices. Which again, it makes me really wonder if most of the faults of the roster choices and the overall presentation were dictated by Marvel, and that's why Capcom hasn't bothered to update the game regardless or do any kind of other new game after this. Hagar. Okay, Hagar, what are you doing here?
Because you have to
like,
it's what I asked last part. Why wasn't this released around the time Infinity War or Endgame came out? It would have been a much more polished game.
Because Marvel pressured to make it this turkey release as soon as possible with a shitty budget.
I can answer that.
I don't think Marvel pressured them. It's just Capcom was being cheap. The only major thing Marvel was like, we don't want our Marvel characters be getting beat up by Capcom characters. Only use X-Men and don't know mutants and Fantastic Four because we're petty.
I can actually answer part of the release date schedule for this. Part of it is, like you said, Marvel were dictating a lot of shots. Also part of it was Capcom being cheap. Main reason? Simple. To time it in so that they could release Black Panther DLC alongside the Black Panther movie coming out in February. Like, really, honestly, that is the main reason why. It was so that they'd have the perfect excuse to release the DLC here at that certain time.
But I think more people would have been excited if just the game came out.
Around
the time. And also, Capcom was being... This is the era where Capcom's fighting games were being questionable, because it started with Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah.
Then it continued with Street Fighter 5. Then it leached onto this.
Okay,
The difference is Street Fighter 5 is a game that got better over time, but it's still not there, according to a lot of people.
I just want to say this. I hate that this game is the game that finally got the Mike Hagar mare costume, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is not the game that had it.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, I'm pretty sure modders are trying to port it in. Remember, the modders have ported Captain Marvel into Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and she looks like she belongs there.
Which ultimately led, it's something that I will mention also this in the final thoughts, which is something that the major conclusion that a lot of people had was asking just to have an update of Ultimate Marvel 3 and introduce the new characters introducing this one there. The problem I get it behind is that a lot of licensing and stuff doesn't help that both major producers of Ultimate Marvel 3 and right now
hey M.O.D.O.K.
Why is he a stage hazard?
I don't know.
Yes, he's a stage
the game by Wally
hazard.
Wingers.
Terrence, enjoy your M.O.D.O.K. show on Disney+.
So, basically, M.O.D.O.K.
Okay, here's one of the actual coolest thing introducing this game. Jedi Doma. I will give credit where it's due. Of all the Darkstalkers characters, Jedi is one of the more complicated to actually port. Both for the type of moves No, sorry. I get it with the whole meme about Midnight Bliss, but Jedi Doma entire moveset rely on a lot of complicated sprites and the copious usage of blood.
You do know that they pretty much toned him down, though, still.
No, here's the thing. The blood actually was changed into purple goo, for sure, but the actual motions are actually to a T. I can tell you that.
They got rid of his inflation move.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you know, like how Katana has a fatality that turns people inflated and blows up?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like that.
Jedha literally has
I'm
a
sure
power
the
where
internet had some fun with that one.
Sure.
Yeah.
One of his inflation moves literally expands a girl's breasts to the point where they pop.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like how
The
you
only thing I
said
don't-
one of his inflation moves, like more. There's more of them.
Oh, he has plenty. One specifically for each character that he uses it on. It's like
That's
how Dimitri.
commitment.
Midnight
it's like,
Bliss.
Yeah. It's sort of like how with Midnight Bliss, there's always a different female form that Dimitri will turn a character into. Well, he either turns a male female.
It's
or
where
a
it's
female
where
to an even-
female Terry Bogard originally is from.
Oh, okay, so Dimitri's the one that changes.
The one
Yes.
thing that I really don't like about Jedi in this game is his voice actor. I'm sorry, David K is a good voice actor, but he just doesn't fit the role.
Oh,
I'm
David
sorry.
K, Megatron, or Optimus
Clank.
Prime from Transformers animated video.
Also,
Wait,
Clank.
he voiced both Megatron and Optimus?
You know, he voiced Megatron. Yeah, he voiced Megatron in the
I think the
CGI, the
Unicron-
Armada?
CGI one.
Oh, Armada.
No, he. Yeah.
Wait, was he the voice
did
of the
Armada.
Megatron? Was he the voice of the
Okay,
Megatron?
okay.
And
that
Transformers,
turned into a tank?
you know, the ugly
at a
CGI
time,
one
one
that
at a
came on the
time.
fucking 90s.
Oh,
One at a
Beast
time.
Wars.
Oh, Beast Wars?
He did Megatron Beast Wars, he did Megatron in the,
Unicron
Armada.
trilogy.
Yeah.
It's called the Unicron trilogy from Armada to the CGI shows as well. Then he
And
did Optimus
Cybertron.
Prime for Transformers animated.
And they did the voice
Yeah,
of
that's
Optimus
cool.
Okay. Now we're actually about to get something pretty cool.
Do you smell product
Nemesis?
placement?
Actually, what product placement though? The free remake was nowhere in sight, but apparently Capcom decided.
Nemesis inclusion. Nemesis inclusion in this is just a byproduct of that he was in Ultimate Marvel 3, and the inclusion in Ultimate was mostly because of memes, because a lot of people actually joked that they wanted him, but we thought Capcom would not put it because of excessive violence, and it wouldn't fit, it would have been too big. Then instead we got that.
Okay.
It should have been
So
it should have been Mr. X.
So
No, Nemesis is way more iconic.
No.
Nemesis,
Before-
no,
before-
Mr. X
before-
for meme, so we can just play X Go and give it to you every
Okay.
time he does his super.
Des.
Deji.
Again, you have to remember this was before the Resident
Before
Evil 2
Remake 2,
remake.
yeah.
This is
It's
that's
only
the thing.
perspective.
That's the thing, Des. This stuff was well before we even had an inkling that we were getting those Resident Evil remakes.
Yeah,
That
we
said,
did. We knew
though-
about it in 2015
Yeah.
or 16. So,
That's the thing, that back then we didn't know the extent of the new
so,
design and capabilities
so
of
the
Mr. X.
original, from my understanding, the roster on Capcom side was chosen because they had plans for each series. So like promote.
Where's my new
so
Mega Man
promote-
X game then?
Where was the new Strider game? The most recent one was 2014.
Yeah, I mean
was it.
that one was just advertising that.
Where's
perfect.
Bionic Commando, Deji? Because
Oh!
Combo
So about that, let's
Look,
talk about the Capcom
Fiend-
leak.
look, I know Combo Fiend. I know that he's a fan, and I'm also liking Spencer on my own. But even I would have, if Spencer wanted to be sacrificed for a better choice, I would understand. You know.
Unfortunately, that's pretty much all we get of Nemesis in the story mode. Damn it.
Yeah, well,
Like,
play Resident Evil 3 Remake for more.
And
Yeah.
that's and that was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Okay, that's another problem with this story mode here and there. Some things and literally some characters will just come and go. Hell, you have Black Panther and Monster Hunter in there. You don't even have them fight, obviously, because you're saving them for DLC, but it's like, what's even the point, really? But bringing Nemesis in here just to one-off beat him sucked.
It's
It
not gonna
really
be the
sucked.
it's not gonna be the one case, sadly.
I will say this though. Well, once again, Nemesis is ironically one of the characters whose face actually looks good. Dare I say?
Because
even
he's
an
meant to be
upgrade from
ugly.
Ultimate Marvel
Yeah,
Capcom
that's not
2.
hard to fuck up Nemesis.
But that said, here's
Axe the movies.
Anyway,
Touche.
well, actually, ironically, the movie did get him right.
Except when they
He
gave
was
him
one
a
of the few
romance
things. But
subplot.
anyway,
What?
but here's another. Anyway, here's another thing about Nemesis, though. He is one of the few characters who actually comes with their theme intact and actually sounding like a better remix here. Yeah, I know we haven't mentioned this before, but the music in this
We'll
game...
save it for next part. So, goodbye.
Yeah, please.
See
See you
ya.
next time.